basically...
What the hell is that?
I'm sorry. Well...
Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show. Will and Thunder Show. Thunder. Will and Thunder Show.
Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show.
Well, welcome back to another edition of the Will and Thunder Show. It's Tuesday night, so you know what that means. Another night of talking a little bit of rock and roll, a little bit of music, see what's going on around the world. My name is Kevin Thunder. Around here somewhere under the weather is my co-host, William Telltale. Where you at, buddy?
I'm here. What's going on?
Not much, man. I know that you're not feeling real well, man. You got kind of the summer flu kicking, huh? What's going on?
I don't know. I'm getting my ass kicked by somebody, somebody sight unseen. I don't know what the hell's going on. All I know is the show must go on, and I'm a freaking trooper. I once played a show under a huge light system I had a temperature of 102 degrees when I went on, and had to be carried off. So
look, man, what did you just take it easy tonight? You just kick back, you take it easy tonight, man. We're going to have a good show, man. Tonight we've got a great band, man. A band out of Boston right here, taking the world by storm. Hardest working band in Boston. Name of the band's Mongrel, man. So you dog catchers out there better sit back and revamp up and find you some new weapons, because this is some dogs that really have a bite to them. Alongside of it, these guys really have pretty good repertoire here. They just recorded a EP, 5 songs. Some of the people that have done work with them in the recording process, pretty big names right there. We'll get into that here a little bit later, but first things first, we do what we do usually every week, and we're going to talk about a little bit of rock news, man. See what's going on in the rock and roll world.
welcome to the rock and roll news segment of the Will and Thunder Show. Kick us off there, Thunder.
All right, let's see here what we got in the news today. You remember a little band by the name of Sabotage, don't you?
Yeah, John Oliva, the band that gave birth to Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Exactly. Well, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, they're doing a big music festival in Germany in next year. On top of Trans-Siberian Orchestra being there, Sabotage has decided to get back together and do a set right after Trans-Siberian Orchestra plays. It's going to be pretty big. They have not been together since early 2000s. Haven't done any work together.
Yeah, I think the last tour they did, the last time they toured was late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere along there. Funny story about TSO. My aunt and uncle are like super uber religious folks, and they always hated the fact that I was into metal, heavy, the big heavy metal. I had long hair and everything, rebellious teenager and young adult and whatever. Well, one year I went over to their house for Thanksgiving, and I just happened to be looking through their CD collection, and guess what I saw in their CD collection? I saw a TSO
Sabotage.
album. A TSO album, and I
TSO, okay.
out. Yeah, and I asked them, I said, do you know who this is? And they said, yeah, that's a band, that's an orchestra. That's an electric symphony orchestra called Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I said, yeah, but do you know who they are? I said, yeah, it's Trans-Siberian Orchestra. You might actually like them because they play, you might want to consider it metal. I said, Uncle, or I said, this is sabotage. This Trans-Siberian Orchestra started off as the heavy metal band Sabotage. they couldn't deal with the truth. You can't handle the truth. That was hilarious. Guess you had to be there. Well, we've lost Thunder. Anyway, the band Mongrel coming up there. They're getting ready to go on tour with Power Man 5000. They got a lot of really good things going for them. I'm just going to go ahead and go over what we have coming up in the next over the next couple of weeks here on the Will and Thunder show. While we're trying to get Thunder back, I don't know what happened, but next week we have there he is. He's back. Okay, don't do that to me. I'm sick. I'm trying to. We got Mongrel coming on. I'm sick of the frickin' Mongrel, and you need to be the frickin' lead on the show tonight. Damn it.
Look, man, I got you, man. Look, man, I don't know what kind of virus you have, but you're messing my phone up. My computer's not working. Look, man, I don't know if you have the computer version of the Ebola disease or what the hell's going on, but stop that shit already, all right? Damn.
I'm sorry.
Look, I'm a couple states away, and I'm worried about getting infected here, man.
Don't make me come in there. I'll call on you.
Oh, whatever. But anyway, as you were saying, you were talking about what's coming up in the near future, but back to the news and music, which that is news and music, what's coming on our show in the next couple of weeks. You told them about the Harp Twins and all that?
I was just getting ready to. But anyway, the Harp Twins coming next week, and if you don't know who they are, check them out on YouTube. They take heavy metal songs, and it's two female identical twins, and they play the harp, and they take these metal songs, for example, Fear of the Dark and Dance of Death by Iron Maiden, and they play harp versions on them. And Iron Maiden, for example, has actually, embraced them, and advertised them. So the majority of the fans that they have are more than likely Iron Maiden fans as well. But they do a lot more than just Iron Maiden. But that's going to be an awesome show. And they don't really do too many interviews. This is definitely going to be a first for them. And I'm looking forward to talking with them.
Absolutely. Now to the next big thing of news here. In the next few months, there's going to be a book coming out, which I'm definitely going to go to Barnes & Noble or what's have you have to purchase this. It's called The Big Book of Hair Metal, and the author's name is Martin Popoff. This guy is taking the time to sit here and log in 500 plus photos, plus there's 224 pages, where he's sitting there and he's kind of documented, gave us a history of hair metal. The ups and downs, where it came from, how it started, and unfortunately its demise in the 90s of, not just hair metal, but a lot of metal at that time, to the unfortunate grunge era. So
it's not just grunge, but that freaking over-synthesized, slightly a little bit heavier than pop crap, that was saturating rock stations during that decade.
I mean, you've got some bands there that were good that came out of that era, but it was far and few in between for a while. Right there it was just, a lot of noise, a lot of garbage. They, the guitar solo gave way to just, slamming 7-string guitar riffs. I mean, it was kind of a sad era for metalheads like you and I. I think I got my first gray hair as a result of listening to the garbage that was coming out during that decade. Yeah, Smells Like Teen Spirit, yeah. Smells like the death of real music.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna have to check that book out too. Just for keepsakes, kind of like a coffee table type thing. That'd be nice to have around. But I mean, one thing that book probably doesn't talk about is the fact that it is coming back, and we've talked about Judas Priest and how their album hit number 6. Their latest album hit number 6 on Billboard's overall, and that being a sign that, of course, metal is back. Well, check this out. You remember Overkill, don't you?
Of course.
Thrash band.
Yeah, they did a real big, toured a lot with Slayer, Metallica, even somewhat recently, Yeah, Overkill's great band.
their album, excuse me, their new album called White Devil Armory, has cracked the top 40. It debuted at number 31 on Billboard's overall. Which, I mean, for Overkill, I mean, Overkill was never anywhere near on the same block as Judas Priest. Yeah, and for them, out of all people, to crack, to crack the top 40. I mean, there's been so many bands, awesome metal bands over the past year and a half that have cracked the top 40 with, without Black Sabbath, Queensryche, Overkill, Judas Priest, Def Leppard, I think. Metal's back.
Yeah, it just goes to show, and it's been, I mean, it's not that it ever disappeared. It kind of traveled. It went on vacation. It went over to Eastern Europe and Germany, but it's back in the United States. It's coming back. It's coming back home,
It's back in the forefront.
And that's great, man. I mean, to get rid of, I mean, and, pop music has its place, and, whoever likes it, that's your ideals right there. Country music, country music and rock were cut from the same cloth. They all grew from the same place, and it kind of split off. And even now today, even today's country is more rock than it is country by any means.
Right.
But it's nice to have our metal that's growing again. It's coming back to life. It's no longer just in the background and having one or two bands that were still surviving and only one or two bands that were coming to life. Now you've got these bands that were around and, the staple of metal music, the staple of, the long hair and just, the power, and they're coming back into it, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir. I mean, I'm happy. I'm hoping to. I mean, even all these bands are getting back together. TNT's getting even back together, and they're going to be touring the U.S. sometime next year. They're all back.
Absolutely, and these bands, as we said, I mean, they really hadn't disappeared. A lot of them took kind of a hiatus, because you have to understand, man, a lot of these bands were on tour for 10, 12 years. Right. You got to take a little time, and especially while the music generation and the genres change a little bit, and you have to develop, I mean, and keep your own style, but you have to evolve it well. As a human being, even you and I are totally different mindsets than we were when we were 20, now that we're 40. We would not, there's no way we'd write the same music. First of all, the bands get better as musicians. So, and they understand more. So the stuff that they played before, not that it was easy or it was, what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, hold on.
Not untalented.
I'm going to throw the challenge flag on that one. Because I mean, you look at a band that never went away like Metallica. They have not been able to release a great album since this. So there's I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but there's people out there that would say that when you're in your 20s is when you're probably the most creative, because a lot of these bands, even the classic rock bands, like Foreigner and stuff like that, I mean, once they crossed that threshold into 30, their music started getting stale. Maybe it was because they got off the drugs, or maybe whatever.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the creativity. But what I'm saying is the talent definitely increases, and you can hear that. Not all the time, but I mean, you understand what I'm saying. And your mindset changes. Things that you thought were important in your 20s are different than what you think are important in your 40s. And when you're writing songs, especially lyric-wise, in your 20s, it's girls, drugs, and liquor.
And now you're just worried about skin cancer, losing your hair, and
no, that's not what I'm talking about. It goes more to worldly ideas, and I mean, it's just certain things that'll catch you more when you're older than when you're younger. In some aspects.
Right. True.
I mean, you look at a song like One, where and that's telling a story. And I know it's based off a movie, but I mean, when you're 20 years old, you're not thinking about a soldier who's dying. 90% of the time, that's not your mindset. Unless you're that soldier.
Right.
Or you're fighting next to him. But you know what I mean. Most 20-year-olds that you see walking around the street, they're not watching CNN, and they don't know what's going on in Iraq and what's going on in Syria right now and what's going on in Russia and, the situation and the plane going down. If you ask them about the plane crash, they're like, which one?
Yeah.
Was it
that one that hit the iceberg?
Right. What I'm saying is, as you get older, I mean, your mindset changes and your music, your musicality might change a little bit. It might get a little softer, or it might get a little harder, it might get a little different. So, I mean, I don't even know how we got on this tangent right here, but anyway.
I don't know. Another story we got, legendary, and this story, by the way, is from Sleaze Rocks, website that I write for.
Don't you do a blog for Sleaze Rocks?
Yeah, I write for Sleaze Rocks, and if you go to Sleaze Rocks, it's spelled ROXX right now, you'll see right on their main page 1, 2, 3, 4,
There we go. Here we go.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. a lot of.
I know you. Look. I already know you don't feel well, but you don't want to dislocate your shoulder, pat yourself on the back either. All right. Anyway, yeah, William Telltale.
We love Sleaze.
We actually know we love Sleaze Rocks, man, and Sleaze Rocks loves William Telltale over here. He's also got his own blog where he does a lot of reviews as well. And that's at William Telltale. Go ahead.
.com.
Oh, God love you. God love you, William. You know what? That was a movie quote. What movie is that from? God love you, William.
What? I have no idea. It wasn't Braveheart.
No, but actually it had a kick-ass rock and roll soundtrack to it. It was a comedy. God love you, William, and so do I.
I have no idea. Although I probably
A Knight's
seen it.
Tale.
Oh. Yeah, that was a really good movie.
Where he's in the stocks right there, and the big guy rolling right there, standing next to him and goes, God love you, William, and so do I. But anyway, that was a little music history for you right there.
Yeah, hey, we're not there yet.
I said music history.
I didn't know that AC/DC, I mean, I knew they were old, but I didn't think that they were old enough to be playing at the joust in medieval England.
Well, you know, the first 3 chords got started somewhere. I guess it was there with the horns. And they continue to use those 3 chords the rest of their career.
300 years later.
What else you got for history? Not history today, but what else is going on in the music world, man?
When we got onto the Sleaze Rocks thing, I was going to tell you a story that came out from Sleaze Rocks about Dick Wagner, a legendary Alice Cooper guitar player, died yesterday.
Yes. I read a little bit about that. Yeah, it seems to be. I mean, right now, the last couple of weeks we've been doing this segment, and I guess it's because of our generation and our age right now. The musicians that we've grown up in love with are, it's just, that they're getting up in age, some of them right there. It's like one of the bands that, you wouldn't think as an older band, the band Primus.
Yeah, I would. I saw
their
them open
drummer.
for Rush back in, 1989.
But I still think of them, like Metallica, and we were talking about how, that's what's considered classic rock now, yeah,
Right.
you're looking over 20 years here, but to me it doesn't seem that long. But, their drummer just had to have heart surgery. He's still torn. He's torn with Primus, or not torn with Primus, but still playing with Primus in another band. But he just had heart surgery. The band he's with right now had to take a hiatus for him to recover. And I was reading an article, and this is kind of scary because, getting in our 40s right here, here's a time where, you really got to pay attention to things. And we lived, a decently hard life right there, playing in music and being in the clubs all the time and, a couple drinks here and there. And to see a guy, of our age right there who had to have had a heart attack, had to have heart surgery, and I'm reading an article, they're talking about, having surgery where they had to stop his heart. I'm like, man, hold up a second here. It wasn't too long ago. I was in the hospital for a couple of days, and my blood pressure went crazy. And I'm thinking, that could be me.
Yeah.
And the whole idea, look, we're going to put you to sleep. We're going to cut your chest open. We're going to crack open your ribs, and we're going to stop your heart for a minute. No, please don't do that. It's supposed to keep going.
Have you ever had any major surgery?
I've never had any major surgery. I had my tonsils out when I was 5, so that doesn't count. But I know, I know one guy.
Yeah, your brother. But
Yeah.
when I had my shoulder surgery done, it was kind of funny because obviously they put me under to do it. But when I when I got home and I was back, I was alert and everything. I had an itch on my back, and I reached over there with my other hand, the hand that hadn't been operated, the arm that hadn't been operated on. I go to scratch my back, and I got bruises all over my back. So I go into the bathroom, and I pull up my shirt, and I look at my back, and there's bruises all over it. There's like teeth marks, like. I'm like, okay, did they kick the shit out of me when I was under or something? Well, apparently they have these little things with teeth that dig into your skin to hold the skin graft open to where they're gonna operate.
Yeah, where they work on you. Oh, yeah.
And they just dig. Well, they never told me that in consultation. Oh, by the way, you might think that you got your ass kicked. No, that's normal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like with my little brother who's had multiple surgeries. The guy's got more scars than Frankenstein does. But
Yeah.
when they're working, like, he broke his hip. And the way that they move your leg around, now I've seen documentaries on TV now since then when they're doing hip replacements, and they take your leg and put it in positions. Once they cut the bone apart and pull it apart, they will take your leg and lift it up and lay it on your chest to give them the room they need to put the new prosthetic in. It's very disturbing looking. I mean, it's like, I know it's not supposed to look like that. I can cross my arms over my chest. I should not cross my leg over my chest.
I couldn't do that job. I mean, regardless of the amount of money. I mean, I really don't think I could do that job. I mean, I'd wind up vomiting all over my and my
the blood and the cutting, that stuff does not bother me. You know what really bothers me of all, I used to watch, you watch all these shows, and it shows people, they'll fall down and they'll cut their forehead open or whatever, the trauma life in the ER, and there'll be a head wound or whatever. None of that bothers me. What bothers me is like when you see a skateboard kid that has fallen and broken his wrist, and his wrist goes the wrong way, or it's on top of his arm.
Oh, well, I can one-up it. Joe Theismann.
Oh, yeah. Or just recently, what's his name, Paul George?
Hey, there was a basketball player, during the...
Yeah, Paul George. That's his name, Paul George from the Indiana Pacers. He's on the USA team. And like an idiot, I read about it on, the internet, so I went and watched the video. No, don't do it. About 6 inches up from his ankle, does a 90-degree turn when he lands. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
That's
the kind of stuff
fracture. A compound fracture on your femur. Oh my God, I don't think there's anything more painful than that.
You know what? Watch these things on YouTube with arm wrestlers who break their arms. That'll gross you out bigger than anything. But anyway, way off music on that one. But yeah, we went from heart surgery to broken legs and broken arms and arm wrestlers. You gotta love radio.
Gotta love the Will Thunder Show.
That's right. But yeah, so
I love the Will and Thunder Show.
I thought she was going to say something else, but anyway. Think I know her. No, anyway.
Oh, man. August 9th, this week in history. This week...
August 9th? What about it?
Oh, God, crap, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Hold on, I got Damn it. Anyway, I blame my cold. Yeah, that's it.
And earlier I was talking about, my computer and everything and the Ebola virus. That's not something to joke about. These bringing these two doctors back in from Africa with the Ebola virus. I mean, I understand the situation. You're Americans and you deserve the best treatment you can possible. But I understand isolation, and the CDC says it's cool. But man, one little slip up could be bad news. You know that.
And it's the last ship in real life.
Oh yeah.
There's a show on NBC. It's called The Last Ship, and it's about this Navy destroyer that was out on a mission in the Arctic while some super mutant virus just killed just about everybody in the world, and now they're, like literally they're the only hope and everything. So this could happen, very well happen here. I mean,
well, it's just,
but no.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, look, it's already killed almost 1,000 people over there in Africa right now, and it's an incurable disease so far. I mean, they might have a vaccine now that they're working on, but just like, you remember the movie with the monkey and Dustin Hoffman, Outbreak. It's already there in Africa right now. It could easily become that here in the United States.
Hey, what happens if they're flying, if they're flying these people in, and all of a sudden, something goes wrong with the engine in the plane and it crashes?
It's as simple as that, right? Or they're already in the hospital now. They're compression chambers or whatsoever, whatever you call them, isolation chambers. Look, the disease is so bad. The disease is so bad. When they flew them over in the plane, they were in like an isolation chamber. The isolation chamber that was on the plane. As soon as they get dressed in their little hazmat suits, with the oxygen circulating for the patient has to wear this suit that, totally keeps them from the outside.
Right.
As soon as they come out of this chamber from the airplane, they pull it off the plane and they burn it to the ground. That's how serious their shit is. They don't wash it out. They don't go in there with Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and clean it up. No, they burn it to the ground. So what are they going to do to the hospital? Once these guys are all right, they're going to burn that son of a bitch to the ground too?
That's a very good question.
If it's that serious, why don't we just send some doctors over there to fix them and then bring them back?
Yeah, because all it takes is one mistake, and, people are freaking stupid.
Look.
You can... I heard a story. I heard a story last week about a guy who went in for some type of routine surgery, and they cut his manhood off because they mixed him up with somebody who was there for a sex change operation.
Yeah, that they actually now, for a couple of years back, like 10 years ago, and this was somewhere in Miami, one of the hospitals down there.
Mm-hmm.
2 different occasions. Went in for surgery, and it was like diabetic amputations or whatever.
Yeah.
Cut off the wrong limb. Can you imagine how pissed you'd be if you woke up and you're like, oh, what the fuck, my left? It's supposed to be my right, you dumbass. Now you're a double amputee. And they actually use Sharpies now, and they write on the leg, this one.
Yeah, and that's not a bad idea, but... you've only got one manhood, I would hope.
Oh, I know, but of course, that sucks ass too. Ask what's his nuts, man? Was it John Wayne Bobbitt?
Yeah.
That's a messed up situation, and she didn't even get charged with anything.
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't. You know why?
Why?
Evidence would have stand up in court. I love it. If I was smarter and wiser at the time, I'd have stood out of the courthouse and I would have sold John Wayne Bobbitt T-shirts for half off. I'm here all week. That's actually pretty funny, though. You know that.
That is funny. That's why I laughed and gave you the rim shot.
Well, thank you. But anyway, all right. So then now, today is August 5th already?
Yeah, we got about 10 minutes. No, wait. We got a while. Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, it's August 5th. And
new format.
Exactly. But you know what that means in 14 days? Kevin Thunder has a little birthday here, so.
Yeah, and we're gonna sing. I'm gonna get whoever the guest is, like right before your birthday, to sing "Happy Birthday" to you.
That'd be awesome. You're right around the corner as well, man. We're getting up there, brother. But speaking of dates, today is August 5th, and we do a little segment here called Today in Rock History. Why don't you run me a little something for it?
Why don't I not? I still got another news story.
Well, you go ahead there, Cupcake. All right, go ahead, Barbara Walters. Hit me with some news, Barbara.
We were talking a couple weeks ago about Insane Clown Posse and their legal
Yes.
issues. Well, there is another legal story involving the Insane Clown Posse, and
ICP.
It's a sexual harassment lawsuit. Now, basically, what happened is this employee of the Clowns basically quit and is suing for sexual harassment because they allegedly gave her a glass dildo. And then but she didn't take it, so the person that allegedly gave it to her then says that he gave it to Kid Rock. And then the lawyers for the women, for the person who is suing, put out a press release about Kid Rock and had a subpoena issued. And Kid Rock obviously didn't take too kindly to that. He basically said to them everything that you ever wanted to say to an ambulance chasing lawyer. I'm just gonna read a little paragraph.
Excerpt.
Yeah, it says, what I do know is that you've been dragging my name around in the media to gain attention for your sad-ass excuse for a law firm. I don't care what you do when you finally catch up to the ambulances that you chase, but I do care when you bring my name into it for no reason at all. Let me ask you this. Say in another lawsuit that another crappy law firm was handling your names were brought up for no reason. You wake up one morning excited for a new day of exploiting the legal system and people dumb enough to look at your website. Nice pictures, by the way. Did you study how to look like douchebags in college? And when you open the newspaper, there's a report from someone you've never heard of talking about how I'm not going to say their names because I don't want to get sued. We'll just call them J and J. Got caught molesting animals at a petting zoo while high on bath salts. Now, imagine you weren't the scumbags you are, but a citizen who's raised millions of dollars for his hometown, spent hours to help promote the arts, and help wounded veterans returning from combat. Let's say that you weren't people who aren't on a blight, who aren't a blight on our planet. Wouldn't you be pissed off that your name for days on end was being mentioned in the press when everyone involved knew that you weren't involved anyway? Welcome to my side of the story. Yeah, he's pissed.
Exactly. And I'm sure that you can find that story. Oh, I know. It's so fucking stupid. And, and that's the one thing with today's, with the media. That it does help in some ways having this mass media, just like with what's going on in, the Gaza Strip now, because everybody knows what's going on. People who are, the leads of military and everything know that everything that happens is going to be on the front page the next day. So everybody has to kind of watch things. But, this stupid stuff right here, and first of all, you can find this story on the web right there. We're not going to tell you the name of the law firm. We'll give it a nickname of Dewey, Screw 'em, and How. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Yep.
But, I mean, look them up, and you know what? Give them hell, man. I mean, this is bullshit right here. And I'm so fed up with the legal system. Not the aspect of people who go out and actually commit crimes and then have to go, in front of a judge and with their public defender and, a prosecutor. Prosecutors do your job and take these idiots off the street that, want to, do bullshit, heinous crimes. But when it comes to stupid lawsuits like that, and, they want to run people's names through the mud just for publicity. Screw you guys, man.
I mean, this isn't even about Insane Clown Posse because of the fact that if they did it, they did it. And actually, it wasn't them. It was a staffer that worked for them that was accused of doing this. So, I mean, it doesn't even have anything to do with ICP. It was that law firm that said, hey, we've got an opportunity to make something out of this, so let's just roll with it.
Well, me and you right there have a little not personal experience, but personal knowledge of how ridiculous lawyers can be. Back, a couple months ago, we had a great family on our radio show that was dealing with a really heinous situation that a lawyer was trying to use some stupid shit like this as well, and it's ridiculous right there. And you know what? If you've got an ounce of morality to you, if you have some balls and, respect your name and all, you wouldn't do stupid shit like this. Now this has, I mean, this is nowhere near leaps and bounds away from what was on our show before with our, the young lady who lost her life. But man, it's just ridiculous, man.
Well, her mother, I consider her a friend of the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If we keep this up, we're gonna wind up with a news show.
You know, I know. But you know what? It's okay to kind of move around a little bit right here because, I mean, it's real life, man. It's real life. It's in a reality show. I mean, but back to the news right there, and I know this is kind of a little segue for you right here. We talked a couple weeks ago about Queen coming out with a new album.
Right.
And I know Freddie Mercury is one of your favorite singers. You can take nothing away from the guy, man. Phenomenal vocalist right there. And they're actually, they've named the album that's going to come out. And they're starting right now to do some re-recordings of some backdrops to the song. They're re-recording some guitar lines and drum lines. Brian May and Roger Taylor, they're getting back in the studio. And the guy that's producing it, his name's Will Orbit. And the name of the album is going to be Queen Forever.
Nice.
Exactly, and that's a good tribute right there to Freddie Mercury.
Yeah,
I'll
be one of the first people to review it. Hopefully, I'm gonna try and get my hands on an advanced copy of that. But that is a good tie-in because that leads us into the rock history segment.
And now, this week in rock history, rock history.
All right, this week in rock history, I've got quite a few actually, but we were just talking about Queen. So, August 9th, 1986 was the last ever live Queen show. It was at the Nebworth Festival. August 9th, last time Queen was ever on stage together, with Freddie Mercury.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, 86. Because and he didn't die until like 91. So that just tells you how long he was battling the AIDS before he succumbed to it. Because I've got to believe that they didn't just stop playing because they did that huge Live Aid thing back. What was that? 85.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were
you got to think of the time frame that was, and the leaps and bounds they've done in the medical field now, fighting HIV and AIDS. You remember back in that same time frame, big movie with Tom Hanks. God bless him. Was it Philadelphia? Is that the name of it?
I haven't seen it.
The one where Tom Hanks had AIDS and ended up dying from it. He was a lawyer, and I believe it was Philadelphia. And if I'm wrong, pardon me. But and you watched him deteriorate like that in the battle he fought, and it was like a 5-year thing that they were in court with this whole thing. But yeah, so that's what he was going through, and nowadays leaps and bounds, through the medical field to kind of slow things like that down and kind of help things through. Look at was it Magic Johnson?
Well, Magic Johnson excuse me, he had it back in the, before that, and I think, I could be wrong, but, no, he was still playing basketball in the mid-'80s, wasn't he?
Yeah. So, that was probably late 90s, but anyway. But yeah, so, today in history, or this week in history, was Queen's last live performance with Freddie Mercury. That's crazy.
And the point I was making about the Live Aid show that they did, that was, they were at the biggest high that any band could ever be in as far as, popularity and everything. They were it. They were at the top. You couldn't get any higher than that. And for them to just literally drop off the face of the earth, which is what they did, that tells you, how badly it was affecting Freddie. But there's a story. When Freddie Mercury was in the studio, basically rotting away, from AIDS, and they were recording their last album. When he came to recording "Show Must Go On," which was basically his
Farewell.
his epitaph. Yeah. He could barely stand up, and he did it. He messed up on a take or two, and he was getting frustrated. And they asked him if he wanted to stop. He said no. Fuck that. He grabs a bottle of vodka, chugs on it, and stands up and nails the song in one take.
That'll give you the chills right there, man. I mean, I could see that played out in my head right there. And, that's a song of, or not a song, I mean, the story of, just pure desire and love for what you do. And look, man, so you know what?
You can hear it. You can hear the intensity in that particular
song.
Oh,
absolutely.
Amazing.
You can hear his intensity in all of the songs he's done. Yeah, I mean, even some of the simplest songs he ever did. Like, I Want to Ride My Bicycle. I mean, really? But when you hear him sing that song...
Yeah, the bicycle. I mean, there's nothing simple about that song. I mean, it's...
I understand. I mean, just lyrics-wise, I'm saying. You're just right there. You're like, okay, if anybody else tried to portray that, I mean, maybe Elton John could pull off something like that. Or, somebody... But, I mean, it's just Freddie Mercury right there. We are the champions. Right. And when he sings that and he says that to you, you're like, fuck, I'm going to go run a marathon right now because I'm with Freddie Mercury and we are champions. I got the Boston Marathon. I haven't trained. We're champions. We can do this.
Well,
you know exactly what I'm saying right there. And, but seriously, I can, on a more dramatic note, seriously.
Well, we're going to...
If you were in that room when he did that...
I probably would have lost it.
Oh, absolutely, man.
I mean, I probably would have started bawling, hearing him do it and everything, and that would have been too much for me to take.
And from now on, when you hear that song, you can picture that moment where it happened, and it's just like, wow, really?
Well, I mean, I was driving in my car when that came out, and that single, "Show Must Go On," was supposed to be released, on when he died, and
right.
And they explained all that on the radio, and then they played the song, and it's just the way that song starts with the keyboard, the dun 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 dun. It chills, and then hearing him sing, knowing that he just died like minutes before, like he had just been pronounced dead, within the hour, and that's why they were playing this song. It's one of those. It's one of those moments that you'll remember where you were when it happened for the rest of your life. I mean, I was in my car getting ready to turn into my apartment complex that I lived in at the time, and I just kind of pulled over and just listened to it, and damn, powerful. But we our guest is on the line. I'm just letting you know we're got a couple more history stories. Then we'll break and play a song from Mongrel, and then we'll be back with them on the show. And how am I doing? How am I doing despite my ailment? I mean, I didn't.
You're doing fine, man. Little cough, little tack here and there, but I mean, you're doing good, brother. And back on that note right there.
Do I need a bottle of vodka?
Yes, you do. No, actually, you need some whiskey. A little whiskey and tea with some hot lemon, man. A little hot toddy to turn you right up.
Hey, that sounds good. Whip me one up.
I'm the one with the vodka.
Take the hot
but on that same note right there, you could not ask for any better obituary than, look, when I die, send a press release out and have that song played on as many radio stations as you can. That you know what?
Yep.
I may be gone, but Queen isn't gone, and the show must go on.
That's true. Also, another this week in history, August 9th, 1995, Jerry Garcia passed away.
Yes, Jerry Garcia, man.
And the ironic thing about, I mean, I was never a Grateful Dead fan, but the ironic thing about this is Jerry Garcia checked himself into rehab to try and get himself off drugs. And it was the withdrawal from all of those drugs at the same time that killed him.
Hey, it's amazing, Look, man, I'm going to go get healthy. Yeah, you got healthy, man. You got dead. That's insane, man. And Jerry Garcia, I mean, iconic, man. 60s, 70s guitar player. You know, and the Grateful Dead, I don't know of any band, I mean, maybe the Beatles and the Who, not even those had a bigger following than the Grateful Dead right there. I mean, you had people who literally quit their jobs, bought a VW Bug or a VW Bus, and just followed the band around and did odd jobs here and there just to make enough money to go see the band and maybe eat a peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah, and they couldn't afford a shower either.
I mean, you know what? It is what it is. I mean, but you got to think of the power of your music right there. If you have 50,000 people who are willing to just not shower and just want to hear your music.
Yeah, I mean...
And they were a great band. And on top of that, they had the album cover with the teddy bear on there. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the gummy bear. Because the gummy bear looks just like that teddy bear.
Did not know that.
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
Oh, okay. Well, nothing surprises me these days. Especially
Yeah, I know. But I mean, that's one of those, you know, the one thing about, like, the Grateful Dead is they have the iconic look right there. Well, what's the one emblem that you know of that's a Grateful Dead? It's the skull with the lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Just like if you saw a set of lips on the back of a bumper, what would you think of the Rolling Stones?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were that iconic band. And yeah, so this week in history, Jerry Garcia in 1995, you said?
Yep, 95.
Golly, Bill. You remember a guy that used to come into the restaurant we worked at for years, Frankie's, that used to buy shots of Goldschlager for everybody?
Yeah.
The doctor.
Yeah,
Doc
vaguely.
Rich. He looked just like Jerry Garcia. Remember that big beard he had and everything? Look, I swear to you, this guy looked like Jerry Garcia, or a bum on the street. He had this scraggly beard, unshaven kind of guy. Top 5 orthopedic surgeon in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But looked just like Jerry Garcia. And I guarantee you this, and I'm not going to give his last name, but that son doesn't smoke just as much marijuana as Jerry Garcia.
Well, most doctors, I'm convinced that at least 60% of lawyers are crackheads.
Well, they know all about it, so don't they? All right, you want a little bit more about history today, or this week in history?
Sure.
I got a couple of things for you. There was 2 iconic metal bands that were signed this week in history.
And they were...
7 years apart. In 1972, getting back in the saddle again was Aerosmith. They were signed to CBS Records in 1972. You know how much they were signed for?
$1 million.
No, Dr. Evil. They were signed for only $125,000. And you know what? I guess in the 72, $125,000 was a ton of money. Today, you're like, oh, really? That's it? No, fuck it. I'll stick on YouTube, man. Look, Bandcamp's going to give me more than that. But yeah, 125 grand, man. And you split that between 4 or 5 people, man. That ain't shit right there.
No.
You guys are driving Yugos, man. You're not driving Ferraris.
Well, Yugo wasn't around back then.
Well, I understand it. That was the late 80s or 90s, whatever. But you know what I mean. And also another band 7 years later, same week, which is a great band here. And I really like these guys because of they've got some chutzpah right there because their drummer, man, sticking around and keeping him in the game even after his situations. A lot of bands have problems with their members, you know. Somebody will get into drugs a little bit or start drinking too much and like, get the fuck out of here. This band had a drummer who got into an accident and lost a fucking arm. And like, no, we'll go ahead and we'll take a hiatus until you learn how to play drums with one arm. Def Leppard signed in 1979 with Phonogram Records for 100. Huh? Phonogram.
79.
In 1979.
Wow.
You know, you think it'd be a little bit later than that because, you know, we're listening to, you know, Def Leppard when we were kids, man.
Like, on Through the Night and stuff came out in, like, 81.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. That makes sense. But
they actually got a good deal. They actually got a really good deal. They signed for they signed on for 120 grand. or excuse me, 180 grand, 120 euros. But they got 10% of royalties right off the bat, and for the first 2 years, they got 100% of the record sales. That's actually a pretty, I mean, that's a pretty good deal right there.
That is. Oh man, excuse me. I just got
Def Leppard, that's one of the bands where, when me and you were kids, man, we were watching, Friday night videos and MTV. That was big at that time. That's why Def Leppard's the reason that you wanted to get a cut-off jean jacket, man.
True.
And you're like, all right, well, I'm going to put a Kiss patch on the back here, and I'm going to put, Motley Crue across the top of it, and
Docking.
there you go, yeah, man.
I got one more, and then we'll go ahead and break, and then come back with our guest Mongrel. Now this one's kind of funny. This week in history, this week in 1973, August 6th, Stevie Wonder. Now I know that he's not metal and everything, but this story made me laugh my ass off. Stevie Wonder was in a car accident on I-85 in North Carolina, and he was in a coma for 4 days. The car that
was he driving?
The car that he had rented, he had rented a car and was in an accident.
How did he rent a car?
I don't know.
He
did you rent
lied.
a car? The story doesn't say whether he was driving or not.
Oh, okay, all right, that's fine.
but still, I mean, but it does say the car that he rented. So, I mean, I'm not laughing because the guy got hurt and was in a coma, but still, I mean, Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder walked into a pole. It hurt.
Yeah. And, actually, let me reiterate that one for you. Let me fix that joke for you.
Yeah, I know, I messed it up.
It's not a pole, it's a bar.
The bar, yeah. Stripper pole, there we go. That's what I meant, yeah.
Anyway.
I was hoping,
But, yeah,
I was hoping you didn't catch that, like, literally right after I.
You should right now, out of respect for that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anyway,
and I'll give my the other.
enough about
Stop it.
No whammies, no whammies. Yes, whammy. Anyway, look, coming up next, thanks, guys, for sticking in with us right here, just talking about some bullshit right here in the rock and roll industry here. But next up, we've got a great interview coming to you right out from Boston, Massachusetts, Mongrel. This is a progressive metal rock band, a little bit of punk influences right there. First up, we're going to play you a song here. We've got a couple songs we're going to play for you. Let's go ahead and start with Over and Over right here. You guys will like this song right here. It's got a nice, tight bass riff to it. Wait till you hear this girl sing, man. Wait till you hear her sing.
Sweet.
You ready to roll with this, brother?
Yeah, we'll be right back with Mongrel on the Lone Thunder Show.
You get the joy from chaos. Let the drama queen. Don't look at me all blankly. You know exactly what I mean. It's a shame. Oh, lying over and over again. One more fire.
welcome back to the Will and Thunder Show. That was, of course, was Mongrel with the song Over and Over Again, and welcome to the show. Who do we have here from the band?
Hey, this is Adam Savage. How are you, man?
Adam Savage, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you guys tonight?
We're doing fantastic, man. So, what do you do in the band?
I'm the guitarist, and I started the band back in '03.
In '03, man. Right on, man. So you guys been doing this for a little while.
Yeah, we've been around for a bit, paying our dues and doing our thing.
Well, right on, man. Well, welcome in, man. Like the music right there, especially I love the bass riff beginning that show, beginning that song right there. I'm a bass player myself, man. I love how that kind of rolls into the song, and you guys keep it rocking heavy and hard right there, man. Good work.
Yeah, no, our bass player obviously wrote the song.
Nice.
Or at least came up with the main riff for it all. But no, he's fucking solid as hell, man. And man, actually, for the song Oxygen Mask on the new record, like I've had that riff kind of floating around for a while, and you know, I pulled it out one day, and he started playing that little extra bit underneath of it, and it just made the song. So having a solid bass player is key, absolutely.
Well, thank you very much.
You got to give the bass player one song. I mean, just to keep him happy.
Oh, shut up, man. All right, well, just for a little bit of history right there, Will and I have been playing together for years, man, and he's the lead guitar or been the singer in the bands, and yeah, they've given me a song here and there, but anyway. Yeah, so speaking of the song, Oxygen Mask, I saw you guys, the video. You guys have the wrestlers in the background, or actually in the forefront right there. Man, how hard was that to record and try and play? Well, I mean, I'm watching the amps just swaying back and forth, man, and you guys are playing right there, and you've got these 200-pound guys throwing each other around in the ring with with all your equipment right there. That must have been just crazy, man.
It was fun. I mean, it was chaos. And I felt like I had my amp like bungee corded into the corner of the ring, and you know, actually, like one of the fans was helping hold it in place a couple times because it still almost toppled. But I felt bad for our drummer, man. Like his kit was like falling over.
Oh yeah, look, man, I'm watching the video and it's just rocking everywhere. And I mean, you really can't tell. I mean, if you're not a seasoned musician, you've never played on a stage before, it looks cool as shit, bro. I mean, it looks really cool. But if you're a musician and you know, and I felt bad for your drummer too, because hell, man, you go to hit your snare drum and it's on the right instead of the, on the left right there, and it's just bouncing back and forth. You're like, shit, man. Look, it's a good thing he didn't have a 2-inch crash cymbal, because he'd have never hit that sumbitch, I swear to God.
No, I mean, there were definitely takes we were doing, someone take a body slam and like the ring would shake so hard that the cymbal stand would just fall right over. We'd have to like stop, pick it up, start over. It was a lot of fun, though. Like, we had never, like, just watching all the stuff going on right up front and up close, and then trying to play in the midst of the chaos. It was just a blast. So much fun.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Before we get into things too deep right here, you're the guitar player named Adam Savage. What's your vocalist name?
That would be Jessica Sierra.
Jessica Sierra. And your bass player is?
Mike Ariza, or Blue.
What do you call him, Glue?
Blue.
Blue. Oh, okay, my bad.
That's cool.
And on drums, who do you got?
We have Mike Hogan, or also known as Hoagie.
Right on.
Now, excuse me, was Jessica your original singer? Oh yeah.
No. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
Oh, okay. No. So for like the first 7 years of the band, we had a bunch of different male singers, and Jeff came in actually to help bail me out, covering a few shows in 2010 when we had a singer flake out, and so originally it was just going to be cover a couple shows. I was a big fan of hers, and we became friends over the years playing in the scene. Her, because her old band and our band had played together a lot, and she was the only one I could think of who could pull off shows last minute. So on 3 days' notice, she did her first show with us. Did a full set. Yeah, she's really.
Now in history.
Yep. And then,
happened in 2010,
actually playing into your thing, I believe it was around this time in August, 4 years ago. So, this
awesome.
week in history.
Today in rock history.
Exactly.
Jess joins Mongrel. now, this week in rock history, rock history.
All right.
And now we have it documented. We now have it documented that the hardest working band in Boston this week in history picked up the hardest working girl in rock and roll.
Hey, don't call her
Absolutely.
working. You don't know her like that.
Oh, shut up. No, seriously, man. No, pardon my friend right here, my co-host right here. He's sick right now, not just physically but mentally, and I have to deal with that every week. But welcome into the show. Man, you guys have a pretty good resume here, man. Before she joined Mongrel, or since you guys have been Mongrel, I see you guys have played with some really big name bands, man.
Yeah, we've worked hard and gotten kind of lucky sometimes and made some things happen, and so we've gotten to play with some, some of these bands where you grow up thinking like, oh, it'd be awesome to one day to play with these kind of bands, and we've actually gotten to do some of that. So, yeah, we've gotten to play with Korn, Godsmack, Misfits like 9 times. Did a mini tour with Fear, like OTEP, Halestorm, Lacuna Coil.
Sepultura, OTEP, I mean, now some of the bands, we're probably a little older than you guys right here, but man, playing with the Misfits, that's just one of the bands that, I kind of grew up with there. And you got GWARs, some influences you guys have there. Godsmack I like. Sepultura, I mean, another big name band right there. And you guys just recorded a 5-song EP, and the guys you have working on your EP, man, those are some pretty big guys that work for some big bands too. It's pretty amazing right there.
No, definitely. It's one of those situations where, we were kind of planning on going back to the studio with Jim Foster, who, he's done, like, I Will Be Done and Null Set and POD. He's been working on, if you've seen, like, any of the behind-the-scenes videos for the new Godsmack records that have been coming out. Like, his place did those. So he's got some, some good cred behind him. So we were going in to work with him, and kind of happened upon, sent an email to Dave Fortman on a whim. And, because he's done Slipknot and OTEP and Godsmack and Evanescence and Snot, and, so like, whatever, we'll fucking try. And he writes back like, yeah, I'd love to do it. What? Okay.
It's pretty awesome, man. And that goes to show you, man, you guys got a little something going here that, other people are hearing that really, got an edge to it and, got a little going right here.
Getting feedback from Dave Fortman that, like, he loved Jess's voice and loved the tunes. I'm like, considering the people he's worked with over the years, like, that's kind of some high praise, so.
Oh, yeah. And to be honest with you, I mean, I've not heard anything, from any other, stuff you had vocalist-wise, but she definitely has a great rock voice right there. You can hear the Joan Jett overtones in there. I mean, she's awesome, man. Watching the videos, she's got the power and she's got the drive, obviously.
Oh,
I mean, that was kind of a drop in your lap right there once you guys got her to play a couple shows and to get her to be a part of this whole dog pound. I'm going to say as a kind of pun, but I mean, awesome, man.
Yeah, no, that was like the best thing that ever could have happened. It was just one of those meant-to-be moments, I guess. The cards all kind of fell into place, and we got pretty lucky.
Like at
Hey,
first,
it's not. Do what?
First, you're kind of pissed off at the old singer, but now you're like, thank you.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. Absolutely.
And a lot of big bands, who get big have had those moments. You see them. I mean, you look at bands like Metallica, who started with a, great musician like Dave Mustaine, but things didn't work out. And when they let him go, his career went well, and so did theirs, And that's the way it happens sometimes. I mean, when you're growing and learning as a musician, you're playing the clubs and everything, you're going to have those moments where this member might not work out or that member might not work out. But with playing with other bands and everything, you find a guy who may not be happy with his band or didn't work out with that band and is perfect for yours. So that's pretty cool how that works out.
I mean, that was definitely one of those best possible scenarios. So I'm very grateful for it.
Well, right on, man. So right now your album's called Evolution, correct?
Yep, absolutely.
And it's a 5-song EP.
That is true.
How long did it take you guys to kind of brainstorm it and get into the studio and put it all together?
Let's see. I think we had it all tracked and recorded and basic edits done on it probably in about like 5 days. So it's about it, because we had drums done in a day and a half. Then we tracked guitar, bass, and vocals over the next few days. So that all came together really quick, actually, which was very fortunate.
What?
And but we have a good crew, and Jim, who did our recording for us, is top notch at what he does. So we don't studio isn't time to go play video games and party and screw around. It's that's when you get to do the chance to do what you love to do and just focus on it.
Exactly. When you're in your warehouse or your practice space, that's when it's time to lay things down, play around a little bit, figure things out. But once you get in the studio, it's time to get serious and do some work, right?
Absolutely.
So, how long?
I'm looking for that video. Where can I find it?
For Oxygen Mask?
Yeah. Oh, wait, never mind. Just found it.
Okay.
Now, look. Now, I was watching you guys on YouTube today. You guys got a couple different videos. Now, you had a video, the song we just listened to where, no, not the song we listened to, but we're going to listen to with the wrestling right there, the Oxygen Mask.
Yep.
There is another video on there. And explain to me the whole Cookie Monster thing.
All right, so let's see.
Okay, for people who are listening real quick, let me give a little overview right here. It starts out with your singer walking into a convenience store. Then all of a sudden, Cookie Monster shows up, and she gets mad, and the rest of the band comes in, and they walk out, and then she comes out. The next thing is like a Girl Scout trying to sell cookies, and she goes to buy the cookies, and then the Cookie Monster shows up. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? The song's awesome, but, it's funny. And then Cookie Monster starts to whoop her ass. Now, am I right in this, or did I watch a wrong video?
No, you got it.
Okay, I was just checking here. It's awesome, man. The whole thing's awesome.
That was another really fun one to do. So I'd kind of come up with the idea, play on, because it's for the song C and a Half. And,
right.
The old school, like, C is for Cookie thing. So we kind of had this idea bouncing around for a while to do something with Cookie Monster with it. And it turns out, so me and my bass player on our rides up to band practice started talking about it and kind of flushed it out a bit. We ordered a Cookie Monster suit online and laid it out. So the beginning sequence there is kind of a little nod to Clark's.
I got you. Okay, yeah, I hear you now. See, now it makes sense. Okay.
The black and white in front of the convenience store kind of thing.
Yes,
And,
I got you right there. It was Jay and Silent Bob in front of the convenience store right there. See, now it makes a little more sense right there. But the Cookie Monster was so funny to me. I'm like, the hell's going on here? Wait a minute.
And so the other interesting side footnote in that whole thing is the bass player who Cookie Monster takes out later in the video is actually one of our old bass players.
Okay.
So
Nice.
we have our current bass player, Blue Mike, playing Cookie Monster.
Oh, nice. Good work, brother. Good work.
So you have the new bass player taking out the old bass player and taking his spot, and then later getting killed. But that's another story.
You know what you need to do? You need to go back in there and you need to Photoshop, kind of like they do with like the old school VH1 videos with little,
The pop-up
wording
video
in there.
thing?
Yeah, little pop-up things right there like, oh yeah, bass player 1, bass player 2, and kind of cool. And then have him in the Cookie Monster costume playing the bass. That'd be fucking awesome.
Well, we do that. It's in the third scene.
You see, I missed the end scene. I was sitting there watching that one, and I switched to the next one because I was trying to get a little bit of everything right there. Damn it!
No,
I missed it. You know what? I'm gonna go watch the end of it. Now I'm watching the end of it. Now I'm stuck.
That's my fault. See, I've just started a new job and everything. I've been like busy as hell, and I usually give him, I usually send him everything 2 or 3 days before the show. He doesn't get to hear it weeks out like I do. So he got it for the first time today. It's my fault. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, no, but yeah, but no, I'm telling you, that's awesome. And then you guys have another video that is the top one on all of YouTube, which I don't believe is on your EP, is it?
Bored to Death?
Yes.
No, Bored to Death and C and a Half are from our prior full-length, Reckless.
Okay. That one was a really, really cool video as well right there, where you guys are just rocking out right there. And is that the one with the girl and her boyfriend?
Yes.
They're laying, yes, see, now that right there, very, very professional done video right there. And when she walks through the living room and you guys are rocking out and then it shows you guys like hanging in the kitchen and she gets pissed off, it was,
Yep.
you know what it kind of reminded me of?
Right.
Home life?
No, back in the day. Actually, no, it's something I did. Back in the day, we had to do, I took film and video production in college, and we had to do a music video, and we did a scene very similar to that to Fade to Black. It was just so cool how you guys, and the cinematography was good. I don't know if you guys did that on your own or if you had somebody come in there and do the work with you guys.
No, that one, actually, Jim Foster, the guy we record with, actually shot that video for us. The other two, C and a Half we did on our own in-house, and the third one for Oxygen Mask, a friend of ours did for us.
But you got three really good videos that are sitting there on YouTube, though, you know. I'm going to say my favorite was the more professional one right there.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, don't take it the wrong way. I mean, but I mean, it was awesome. Now the Oxygen Mask one, that was fun to watch.
That's the point of spending the money to have a professional video done.
Yeah, we kind of blew the budget and couldn't bring them back for the next ones, but thankfully we had some good talent and some talented friends who go with the creativity and just make things happen.
That was definitely, Oxygen Mask, definitely a cool video. We have a caller. You want to take the call?
Yeah, absolutely. Bring them all in.
Howdy, y'all.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, welcome on into the Will and Thunder Show. What you doing there?
This is Mobius.
What's up, Mobius? God love you, brother.
I've been listening to these guys. They sound pretty awesome. I was curious, are you guys into the old school music videos a lot? Like, did you used to watch MTV when it was about music videos?
When it was MTV, yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. Like, I got into, like growing up where I grew up in kind of upstate New York, so there was no music scene. So my introduction to a lot of bands was like Headbangers Ball and 120 Minutes and all that stuff back in the day.
Do you remember the Tom Petty post-apocalyptic video they did?
I do.
What song was that?
I can't fucking tell you the
I
name
can
of
name
it.
that tune.
Don't come
I
around here.
probably saw it at some point,
like,
but...
Yeah, sorry. But I'm a big Cookie Monster fan, too. I actually gave my Cookie Monster to Lars Ulrich, though.
Nice.
So what part of New York did you grow up in?
A place called Kingston. It's like 90 miles north of the city.
All right, I was born upstate New York, man.
Oh, okay. How far upstate were you?
My whole family's from there, but I was born in Amsterdam.
That's like, what is that, past Albany?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's right around there. I got family from Albany, Dunkirk, Troy, all that area.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
The good
sad
thing
thing
you
is
got
you
out
should
there.
go to Albany for something to do.
It's a good thing that you got out of there when you did. Otherwise, you might have turned out a Bills fan, and we can't have that.
Exactly. So what's up, Mobius, man? What you doing, brother?
Not much. I was just wondering if these guys were going to do it like a concept album with like a rock video like Pink Floyd. Because it sounded like they're already doing kind of themed stuff.
Yes and no. Like, we're actually planning on more videos from the new CD. They don't necessarily all tie together, though. I mean, I guess if you're fucked up enough, I guess you could try to figure out something, but they're not intentionally that way.
Well, you know what? You're talking to the man right here that could tie them together. If you could ever write anything and tie it together, this man can do it right here, Mobius. So you might need to get with him and collaborate, and you guys can have a concept album in a week and a half.
We won't know
I
the concept,
appreciate
but
it.
it'll be there.
I'm telling you right now, this guy right here, Mobius, can write about peanut butter and make it interesting. I'm not joking. I mean, serious. Or mayonnaise, or both together.
See, now you're talking. Like, that's a double album right there.
I have
Exactly,
a
a
piece
double
on
album.
mayonnaise and cockroaches.
Peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches.
See, I think we're onto something.
Actually, I just gave Mobius his next book's title right there.
Peanut butter
Or
and mayonnaise
sandwiches?
sandwiches.
Why not?
It would, I've been having people tell me I need to write some stuff that's more kid-friendly.
I would buy and read my children any book that you wrote that was a kid's book. I promise you that.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yes.
so you think Clown Milkshake is out, though? No, I wouldn't read that book to my kids either. I'm kidding. It's not.
I understand.
I will consider writing a children-friendly book and calling it Peanut Butter and Mayonnaise Sandwiches with banana.
With bananas, absolutely. And I can't wait to hear out. Anyway. Now, your band has a job to do now. You don't understand this, but you have to buy one of Mobius Machiavelli's books right here. And I just stuttered my lips right there. And you have to dress up as a political or religious group and burn them in front of a political building.
Oh, yeah, that's no problem.
That's
So,
no
yeah,
problem.
that sounds fun.
Yeah,
It sounds easy, doesn't it?
So, aren't you guys? First of all, am I correct in assuming you guys are? Do you guys have a record label, or is it a management deal?
We do have a label. It's Unable Records, based up in New Jersey.
Oh, okay. That's not the best name for a record label, but
Unable?
Well, yeah, actually,
Unable.
the reasoning behind it was actually pretty good, because they wanted to kind of help bands do the things that they were unable to do on their own.
Oh,
To help
okay.
bring them up to the next level. So actually, like, I thought the same thing when I first heard about them, but once I kind of talked to the owner, and he kind of gave me the background on it, it was definitely actually really cool.
So it's not like come on down to Peg Legs Podiatry.
No, not at all.
How much do they help y'all with promotion and stuff?
They've been real good. They definitely work hard. They're actually more of a punk rock label for the most part. Which honestly,
So a lot of grassroots promotion kind of stuff?
yeah, so it's a lot of being smart about your promotion. They're definitely more into the direct connection with the different people that they're contacting. Not wasting money sending out like 300 CDs in the mail for, trying to do it more of a DIY approach, but on the next level. Which really kind of fit my approach and aesthetic as far as the band too. So it definitely was a good match for us.
Well, speaking of promotion, man, go ahead, Mobius.
I'm just always fascinated with that kind of stuff because, I used to make my own books when I lived on the streets, and so it's always neat to see whether bands are promoting themselves and putting together their own stuff. Like some of the bands that have been on here have talked about, like, putting together their albums inside of Kinko's, which, and then there's, are putting together their flyers and stuff inside Kinko's late at night. And then some folks have companies that do everything for them. And then some companies don't do anything.
Yeah,
I noticed that you guys got a couple big shows coming up, and on social media you got some pretty good large flyers on your social media sites right there. Like August 8th, you guys are traveling all the way to Maine?
Yeah, it's not that far. It's a couple hours.
All right. Well, it seems a lot further to me. I guess you know.
The safes up there are small there, Thunder.
I understand that, but damn, dude, still, I mean, you travel from Massachusetts to Maine. Seems like, I mean, you have to go through Rhode Island and shit. I know it's small, but damn, it's still an hour or two,
It's like
man.
driving from Nashville to Memphis.
All right, well, fuck you then, man. Damn. Anyway, I thought you were sick. Can you be quiet for a minute? I'm just kidding. Anyway, but yeah, you guys are playing in Maine. Couple days right here this weekend.
Yeah, we're playing up in Maine on Friday up at Club Texas in Auburn.
Maine Metal Festival or something like that.
Yep. So that should be a
And
good
you guys
time.
got another big festival coming up. You're playing the Palladium August 16th, and you're playing with a couple big bands there too.
Yeah, we're playing with Head PE again, and playing with Powerman 5000 for our first time.
Cool. That
Being a
must be
home state
bad. Must be exciting right there, man, playing with these bands right here. And
we also just
Are
picked
you
up
coming down to the
October
south?
8th. Huh?
Are y'all coming down to the south?
Nothing anytime soon. I mean, it all just kind of depends on logistics and financials for the most part. You know?
Right.
I
Now,
understand.
Unfortunately.
Atlanta'd be a good
is this
city. A lot of good bands out of Atlanta.
I've heard good stuff about the scene down there. We came through years ago down to like Nashville, West Virginia, and stuff, and into the Midwest a bit. But it's been a good number of years since then.
Can I drop an idea into y'all's head, and y'all can do what you want with it? But
Of course.
I don't know if you've noticed that there's a lot of fucking comic book conventions happening nowadays,
Yep.
and having some crossover with sci-fi, fantasy, comics is becoming a bigger
Yeah,
world.
and
And
you
the fact
know-
that y'all are doing videos right there, like opens up so much more potential for animators and all that kind of shit.
which is actually, maybe this is a great idea because, my little brother, which is, I mean, he's still, mid to late 30s, huge sci-fi fan, but huge metalhead as well. It's a great
that's-
concept right there. And if you could mix a music festival in with like Comic-Con right there,
Well,
it all kind of ties in together.
I used to run Dragon Con's office out of Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
In 96, 98, and they had GWAR, they had Danzig, they had who else they had? They have like a lot of the gothy kind of bands. Like one band I really
Rob
like,
Zombie.
Changelings. They have the
Oh,
Crushed
yeah.
Shadows. I don't know who's doing their stuff now. Since I stopped working with them, I don't really talk to those folks anymore. But it's just a matter of putting together a press kit showing that you're connected to what their theme is. But I mean, I also know a lot of bands. Like I don't know if you're familiar with Apollo Smile. She was like an anime character that had her own rock band and her own anime theme. I'm not saying that y'all should necessarily go in that direction. I'm just saying if you find something you like and throw out a couple of videos, so then you got some crossover. It bridges a lot of different communities and allows you to have a doorway into another crowd that you don't necessarily have immediate access to.
No, absolutely. Actually, I think there's a band from our area, like the singer does a lot of like cosplay stuff. I think they're playing Dragon Con this year.
Cool.
well, there's obviously
Yeah, Dragon Con.
somebody.
When I was working, it pulled 55,000 people a year.
Jeez.
So I mean,
That's a lot of people right
folks.
there. That's a lot of people to hear your music right there.
And
Absolutely.
Somebody
know.
in your group, in your entourage there is a pretty good artist with the artwork label or the album artwork with that. I mean that's just incredible. So I mean I'm sure that if somebody were to put together like a comic book or some type of an animated video or something like that, then that might be. Is that kind of why you were bringing it up there, Mobius?
well, I don't want to push. I want to put it out there and let them decide to run with it or not. That's I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to seem like them. But I've
it's a good
enjoyed
idea.
what I've heard.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, and I understand what you're saying right there. I mean, it opens avenues to you right there, and especially that the style of music you guys are playing would fit in that.
And because you're doing something that I consider kind of old school with the music videos too. That's where for me
Right.
it was like, I kind of liked that idea. I'm also a big fan of like I don't know if you ever seen Rock and Roll or Heavy Metal the movie.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm an old school nerd.
Nothing wrong with that.
So I mean it's a different but at the same time there's a lot of cross interests if people see them, and it opens up a lot to other people
Yeah.
if you show them, hey, these things are all connected here.
No, that's actually real smart, man. We'll definitely have to explore that a little bit. Thank you.
But But yeah, there's
We're gonna
Florida
let's go ahead.
there's like, sorry.
Let's go ahead and break, and we'll play the next song by Mongrel. Which one do you want us to do? We have Oxygen Mask and we have Snake.
Let's go with Oxygen Mask, since we've been talking about that video.
All right, we'll do, and we'll be right back on the Will and Thunder Show.
And before we do that, you know what? Just because of that video, I'm 5'6". They call me the Thunder Midget. And if I don't make it in radio, I'm going to join midget wrestling as a giant, and I'll be in your next video. And we can have a bunch of midgets running around, and I'll kick all their asses. I'll even wear like a...
Good idea regardless.
Do what?
That just sounds like a good concept anyway.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to do that anyway. So I'm going to get me one of those one-strap leotard things, you know, and some knee pads. But they'll call me the Little Big Show. Anyway, watch this video, man. All right, listen to the song right now, then go back on YouTube and watch the video. And when you see these wrestlers jumping around and beating each other's asses right here, think about a 5'6" guy beating midgets up, and you'll laugh your ass off.
That's ratings right there, my friend.
You know what? I do what I can.
The future brings uncertainty forever, none, diamond rings. I want it all, I want it fast. Who knows how long it'll last? You only get one shot, that's right. There is no warning, it's not a drill. We're all in the crosshairs, not target practice. When I shoot to kill. Put on your nails, take a breath. You can't stay there until you save yourself. Where are my body? Before my mind. I can sleep in the next night. Open your eyes, you'll be surprised. Make it count while there's still time. You only get one shot at this life. There is no warning, it's not a drill. We're all in the crosshairs, it's not target practice. When I shoot to kill. Put on your nails, take a breath. You can't stay there until you save yourself. Who knows what tomorrow brings? Uncertainty forever now, diamond rings. I want it all, I want it back. Who knows how long it'll last? You only get one shot at this life. There is no warning, it's not a drill. We're all in the crosshairs, not target practice. When I shoot to kill. Put on your mask. Take a breath. You can't stay there until you save yourself.
Was that the whole song, or did it cut off?
No, that's how it ends.
I'm sorry?
That's how it ends right there. It just drops off right there. That's cool right there, man. I mean, because you're expecting, you know, maybe a drop off there, and it's like, pow, done like dinner.
Hey, you know,
And I guess
we got our
I
point
guess
across.
that was
Song is done.
I guess that was kind of intentional. It's like people listening to that and they're like, "Crap, is there something wrong with my CD player?" I thought something went wrong with the download when I downloaded the song.
No, it's
No, man, you're
break
good, brother.
and then the last verse and chorus.
Well, your bass player right there, actually, I mean, he's hard-hitting bass player right there. You know, most of the songs that I've heard, man, right there, he's got a drive to most of the songs, you guys, right there, that I've heard. You guys got a good sound right there. Who does most of the writing for your songs?
In the past, it was a lot of it fell on me. but since we kind of got Blue and Hoagie into the band to join the Ingest, it's actually become a lot more collaborative. So Evolution, kind of part of the name of it is that the band had evolved, and as far as our writing, where it was much more of a group effort than in past recordings. And especially the stuff we've even been writing since this was done, that comes to the forefront even more. So it really is the evolution of the band and the process, and really all coming together to take it to the next step.
That's awesome right there. So you started out writing a lot of the songs right there, and then now that you guys got, the members you have now, it's kind of opened up a little bit, which is awesome right there. What inspiration, where did you come from? What got you to where you're like, you know what? I was 4 years old, or I was 10 years old, and I heard a song, or what made you want to be a musician? What made you want to be a rock star?
That would be like the first couple Guns N' Roses videos. To see in Flash play for like Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child. I was like, oh my God, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I need to do that. And from there on, it was kind of get a guitar and start playing, and that evolved into writing songs.
Right on. Who got you your first guitar?
My parents out of the Sears Christmas catalog one year.
Oh, really? Well, that's awesome, man. Was it an acoustic guitar, or was it an electric guitar?
It was electric. It was like the $100 electric with an amp and a chord starter kit. It was horrible.
Right, kind of like the first act kind of things nowadays?
Not even that good, man. Like, I showed up to my first lesson with this thing, and even the instructor's like, you can't keep that in tune. Like, you need to get something better.
You got to go home right now, because we're not even going to start right now.
It was probably a couple steps above that.
So you actually took lessons. Your parents put you in lessons to learn how to start playing and all that. That's actually really cool, man.
Yeah, no, my folks are pretty supportive of that stuff. So I did lessons like a year and a half, and then kind of after that, I got tired of learning. Like, all right, we'll bring in this, or we're going to learn the riff to like Bon Jovi or whatever. And it was kind of like, all right, I have guitar magazines. I can figure this out, and just kind of went from there on my own.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna interrupt here for just a second.
Go ahead, man.
So that I don't have to cram this in, at the last couple minutes before midnight. At midnight, the show is gonna go off the air, but we're still gonna be recording it. However, if you call in and listen, just want to listen. As long as you're on the line with us, you'll be able to hear the remainder of the show. But if not, don't worry. I'll have it up on YouTube sometime tonight or tomorrow, in its entirety. I usually wait till like the last couple minutes of the show before midnight, and then I have to say this at like warp 10, just to try to get it off before the stroke of midnight. But yeah, if you call in, if you don't want to talk to us, then just don't push 1. If you do want to talk to us, push 1. But after midnight, that's the only way you'll be able to hear the show live, unless you want to wait until tomorrow and hear it on YouTube. Anyway, but now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Now that we got all the legalities out of everything, but all right, so like Slash is one of your inspirations right there. Now, so obviously you're a little bit, if not a lot, younger than me and Will right here. Well, what age is the band right here? Average age, you in your mid-20s, or you're in your 30s, or?
Like late 20s into 30s.
Well, that's awesome, man. And it's nice to hear you guys playing some rock music, and, especially your singer. She definitely has some Joan Jett and influences of that sort right there. And the music you guys are playing is also influenced more on the rock side, or, a little bit of punk influences, which is, some of the bands I really fell in love with when I was growing up right there. And it's nice to have you guys, that are 10, if not years younger than us, coming up and playing some of this kind of music right here.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
some of the stuff's just classic because it's that good, and, these influences, and, why play your cookie cutter trend of the minute when you can kind of draw on, the best of the past, what we grew up with and before, the stuff that holds up over time because there is this solid songwriting and everything to it.
That's awesome the way you put it right there. I mean, absolutely. Don't be the cookie cutter and don't try to be a part of what's the norm right now. I mean, and there's some good bands out there. Don't get me wrong. And some of the music is good. I like some of the newer kind of rock music. But my heart and my soul is with my metal. Always has been and always will be. So it's nice to hear you guys in there, and you're not trying to be one of these Candy Crush bands out there right now with the eyeliner and the big hair who are trying to act like metalheads when they're playing emo music and all that kind of stuff.
By the way,
Nikki Sixx already started that. There's no need to.
And he did exactly. And I don't know what the name of the band is, but I see them on Facebook and YouTube all the time where they have the black jagged haircut with eyeliner. Yeah, that's right. That's Nikki Sixx right there. Damn it, that's Nikki Sixx, and leave it alone.
Exactly.
By the way, Mobius' phone just died on him, and he said that he likes you guys. It was a pleasure talking
thank
to you.
you. Cool, man. Well, thank you to Mobius.
But yeah, I mean, seriously, right there. I mean, you have those bands out there who claim to be, the wannabe rock stars of this era right now, and there's a totally difference in music of their style versus where it started from. You can't look like Motley Crue. I totally stepped on my tongue there. Yeah, Motley Crue, and play Justin Bieber music with I love you and I want to hold your hand kind of stuff.
Nah, I don't know. I can't get into it. Obviously that's some appeal to some people for whatever reason. But no, I mean, I want to hear the class. Want to listen to good songs and, be able to sing along and scream in my car and, go to a good show. That's what it's about for me.
Well, do me a favor though. All right, for old folks like me and Will right here, please do not call Metallica and Iron Maiden and real music classic rock.
No, Metallica's not classic rock. I mean, it is classic, but it's not like your quote-unquote, classic rock.
Yeah, we're not, it's not Cream, and it's not,
Yeah,
that's something we have.
Stuff I grew, the first time I heard stuff like Nirvana on the classic rock station, I'm like, what the hell?
You heard Nirvana on a classic rock station?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm going to do right now?
I'm going to blow my head off.
As soon as this interview's over, I'm going to go drown myself in my own pool if they actually have Nirvana on a classic rock. Because that means that I am so old that I shouldn't breathe anyway. I'm sorry that I'm wasting your oxygen.
Yeah, if the band that killed rock is now classic rock, then there's something really wrong.
Yeah, no, they killed bad hair, the end of the hair metal signings and that stuff. I mean, I think actually it helped revitalize rock for a while. I mean, the whole Seattle thing that really helped bring out a lot of the rock stuff out of hiding. Honestly,
there was very little stuff there that came out of hiding, though. I mean, it really from the Nirvana era right there. What metal bands really grew strong right there? I mean, after that, if you go 10, 12 years from there, you had some metal bands that came out, like Avenged Sevenfold and things like that. But I mean, you could go Alice in Chains.
Korn and Disturbed and, bands like that came after grunge. So,
I understand that, but there's far and few in between right there. I mean, now those are two of my favorite bands right there. I loved Korn. Korn was pretty good. I love Disturbed. It's my favorite metal band of the new era.
I don't know. I can't get into them.
You can't get into Disturbed?
Yeah, I dug the first half of the first album for about 6 months, and that was it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the one band. If I know that I have to do something around my house, I'm like, all right, look, I got 2 hours worth of yard work to do right now. If I listen to Disturbed, it's an hour worth of yard work instead of 2. It pumps me up so bad, kind of like back in the day listening to Iron Maiden, you just get there and it's like, oh, it makes you grit your teeth and all right, I'm going to fuck somebody up right now. Disturbed does that for me.
Slipknot album for that. Like the first Slipknot disc
That'll work.
from '99. Like that's the one I would turn to.
Oh,
And I love Slipknot too.
Speaking of Disturbed, there's actually there's a video that he's got a whole bunch of like crazy videos that he put together, but he's got this one
Where he did the best of Disturbed and he looks like David Draymond. Yeah, it's funnier than shit.
Yeah, he's,
All right, now I have a quick question for you, real quick.
Absolutely.
We're going to kind of lighten things up a little bit. What do you think about Weird Al Yankovic, man?
I never respected it. It's nothing that I want to listen to all the time, but I mean, obviously the man's talented and has a good sense of humor about him, so, you know, all the success to him.
I'm going to tell you one thing right now. If he ever does a Mongrel song, you know you made it.
Oh, God, yeah. Hell, if he's even heard of us, like, we know we made it.
That's right, man. Damn it, man.
you guys have seen the movie This Is Spinal Tap, right?
Yes.
Okay, we have a little
Do you like the movie This Is Spinal Tap?
Of course. It's a little too close to home sometimes, but...
Exactly.
Well, that's
So
what we're talking about right here.
We have a segment called the Spinal Tap moments, the Spinal Tap segment, where we have our guests tell us about their Spinal Tap moments. Like, for example, a band that Thunder and I were in together years ago. We started off as a 5-piece where I was just singing, but our guitar player didn't show up to practice, one of our guitar players didn't show up to practice, and we had a new song. He did not know the song, and he got pissed off and threw his guitar down and stormed off stage in the middle of the set, just like Nigel did in the movie. This is where we ask you about, you know, your crazy mishaps and stuff like that.
These go to 11. You can't press that. Final tap, 5 seconds. What's wrong with being sexy? He died. He died in a bizarre gardening accident. Thousands of people spontaneously combust each year.
Hello, Cleveland! Hello, Cleveland!
All right, so let her rip.
Hello, Massachusetts. Hello, Massachusetts. All right, right here. We're talking right here to Mongrel right here. Anyway,
Let's see, I once had a...
I've got my phone
Stop it.
turned up to 11 while I'm talking to you. So tell me a little bit of...
Zero. Stop it.
Shut up, man. Look, man. Aren't you sick? Anyway.
No, once we were going into, this is years ago, we were going into the studio to record, and the drummer I had at the time, it was raining, and he couldn't find parking, so he quit on the way to the studio. The three of us were in the studio when he called to say, like, fuck it, I'm done, I'm leaving, I'm going home.
You know what?
That's kind of fucked up. That's fucked up. No. That's messed up right there.
He got the whole ass
That's
there.
definitely a jackass move right there. Look, man. I might get wet. I'm too sweet for that shit. I'll melt.
No, he couldn't find parking, so he went home.
That's bullshit, man.
Before the sound session.
So, yeah, that's probably the most ridiculous thing as far as that goes.
Absolutely. So as a guitar player, what is your biggest, man, not mistake you ever made, but the biggest thing that happened to you in the middle of a show right there? Couple strings break or some shit like that. Anything like that ever happened to you?
Oh, that's kind of standard.
Just a given, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, climbing on a unstable PA speaker was probably my worst idea. I went to jump off of it, and it rocked, and then threw me guitar first onto the hardwood floor, where I proceeded to have a Les Paul-shaped bruise across.
Was the feedback good at least?
I don't remember.
Did the guitar survive? The important thing here is,
surprisingly,
did the guitar survive?
Like, it did. Broke my knobs off, bruised some ribs. Thankfully, Les Pauls have the lower cutaway, because that fell perfectly.
Look at you right there. Not just telling a story, but you're talking about equipment and its anatomy right there. Well spoken, sir. Well spoken.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you.
No,
I nearly
aren't you
killed the
guys-
guitar. Like, sorry, what?
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, there was one show we played. I think it was with the Misfits actually at the Palladium in Worcester, and we had a second guitarist for a little while. And towards the end of the set, I threw my guitar like probably good 15 feet up, intending for it not to survive. That was expected. But it one-hopped on the stage, and that guy had kind of like spun himself stupid and fell over. So the guitar landed about 3 inches from his head, and nearly took him out.
Flashback from Nirvana at that awards ceremony where their bass player threw his bass
Yes.
feet up in the, and it came down.
It was
to
nearly
tail.
that. It was nearly that, but if you watch the video, he catches it on the hop and flings it across the rest of the stage.
Is this on YouTube?
Yeah, it should be.
We've got to find that.
We'll find it. We'll find it. Anyway, that's awesome, man. So what's your big plans from now on, man? What are you guys doing from here on out?
We have the big show coming up 16th with Power Man and Head PE. October 8th, we're playing with the Butcher Babies, again at the Palladium, and it's awesome playing with them every time. Then we're going to be setting up shop at the Rock and Shock Festival in Worcester, the 17th, 18th, and 19th of October. We have a couple videos in production right now, so hoping to get
You
one
guys are
out.
killing it right now.
Summer.
You guys are killing it right now. You guys
Okay.
got, 5, 6 shows already lined up in the next couple months. You're working on videos right now.
Oh, yeah.
What else
So,
is there to do right now besides rock and roll, man?
And keep writing stuff for the next CD. It's all just keep it going, keep momentum going.
How's that going right now? How many, you guys have been working on new songs? You guys got something for the fans to look forward to? How many songs you got in the works right now?
Let's see, I think 2 of them are done. We've been playing out a little bit. And we have another 3 or 4 in process. So,
Well, right on. Well, when are you guys going to come head down a little south this way, man? Let us Southerners hear a little bit of your music live.
Yeah.
that all just depends on when the right situation comes up, man. Unfortunately,
There
a lot
you
of
go.
guys,
That's right.
If you guys play in Atlanta, we've got a band that we can hook you up with there.
Absolutely.
They're called the Antagonizers. We did a show with them. They're a punk band, but they have a huge following in Atlanta, so that would be a good band for y'all to hook up with.
Antagonizers, cool.
But how many dates are you doing with Power Man 5000?
We're just doing the one-off here in Mass.
Oh, okay. I thought for some reason that was a tour.
Yeah, no, unfortunately we're not doing the whole tour. We're just doing the one local date.
Yeah.
But I think they're coming around. I'm not sure if they're coming down to Atlanta or not. But
Hold on, I'm battling a cough. We're off the air right now, so I can edit this part out. And
there you go.
Just us 3 and the 3 people that are listening that hear it.
Yeah, but seriously, man, real quick, I mean, you guys have been together, you said you started in 2003, somewhere around there. You guys, 2010 is when you met up with
With Jeff, yeah.
your female singer right there, with Jess, and so you guys, the songs that you guys recorded, were those pre-done and you just added her vocals to it?
Let's see.
Pre-written?
Well, the EP we put out right after she joined, we went and re-recorded the songs with her. We did,
Okay, so now the songs were pre-written already, and then you put her on there. How much diversity does she have right now with the new stuff you're writing?
Well, on the new stuff, Consumed is all her lyrics on the new EP.
Nice.
And she's kind of had more input as far as putting the vocal melodies together and working out the arrangements and everything. So the stuff we're currently writing, actually she's been writing most of the lyrics.
That's awesome right there. I mean, to give creative ability right there. You know, I mean, that kind of opens things up right there when you guys can work together and collaborate. I mean, that's where the truth comes out right there. I know, as you know, being a musician myself right there, and you can play by yourself all day long, and you can write as long as you have that collaborative aspect to it, and you guys can feed off each other. It kind of makes things, in my opinion, better and stronger.
Oh yeah, it's kind of nice to have some of the pressure off of me having to write everything.
Right.
It's good. It's good having a group around the whole lineup real solid and good ideas and able to contribute to the writing process.
I gotta give a shout out to Emma Sheridan of Femalism.
Cool.
She's the one that pointed you guys in our direction. And,
yes.
And which is a great thing nowadays, And there's a big resurgence right now with overseas music and music in the United States with female vocalists, which I love that. I mean, there's a different sound, a different style to it, and we're actually going to do a show where we're going to talk a little about this whole situation with female vocalists and female metalheads right there.
That'll be on the 19th, 2 weeks from tonight.
Nice.
And we'll have her on. We'll have Emma on along with another writer that covers that that topic of female metal singers. But that show is going to be an early show because of course she's in England, and the other
they're like 5 hours ahead.
Well, farther than that. The other.
Well, you know one thing is, maybe if things work out the right way when we're playing music in that show, maybe we should highlight you guys on that show right there.
Well, that's what I was planning on doing.
I was just throwing it out there, and that way it would happen. So if I throw it out in the air, guess what? We'll throw you guys out there, and one of your songs will be on our show next week too, as well.
Oh, thank
Or
you.
not next week, or 2 weeks.
It's really hard to do that one because our other guest is in California. So we've got California, us here on the East Coast, and then
That's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time zones, yeah. So I'll have to talk like this, and then talk like this, and then I'll have to throw my country accent in there too.
Please don't.
Oh, stop it. I was trying to be funny, you son of a bitch. Anyway.
Try harder.
Oh, really? We got jokes from you? Anyway. Hey, Adam, thanks for being on the show tonight, man. We appreciate
No problem,
it, brother.
man. Thanks for having me on.
Well, we're gonna play the last song. We're gonna play the last
Absolutely.
song.
We're going to play the last song, and then we're going to say goodnight. But the last song is Snakes. That's the one where you guys have really put a lot of effort in there, and you guys have a lot of industry professionals working with you guys on that song right there. And I don't know if they worked on the rest of the songs, which are all very, very, very well produced, but this one right here, it's got a pedigree, doesn't it?
Well, as much as a pedigree as Mongrel can have, yes.
Well put, brother, well put.
Thank you.
All right, this is Snakes, and I wouldn't want to try to give a pedigree to a snake. We'll do that.
You got the twisted point of view, your values misconstrued. You come from family as long as it's all about you. Your sense of loyalty, so tainted and screwed. Thought about the lines until different resources all of you. These names
out, brother. Spit it out. Spit it. Welcome back to the Will and Thunder Show. And that right there was Mongrel with their badass guitar player Adam Savage right there.
And the fumbling, sick as a mongrel William Telltale.
Anyway, Adam, man, thanks for taking your time to, talk about your music, man, talk about what's going on with your band.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, no problem at all, man.
I gotta ask you one last thing real quick.
Absolutely.
How many people ask you, if, what Jamie's like, or what's her name, about Mythbusters?
Oh, I get that more at job interviews than I do in the band.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I'll go to
Well,
a job interview and I'll get that, but I don't usually get that in the music scene.
Oh, right. And you know what? I didn't even put that together right there. Good work, Will, right there. Yeah.
Well, that was the first thing that popped in my head when I saw his email, when he emailed me.
You're like, we're going to have the Mythbusters on our show? What are we talking about?
Yeah, it's just,
Does a carbon guitar sound like a Les Paul? What the hell? And thanks for doing that the last of the show right there, because that could have been disturbing the whole way. But anyway, no, seriously, man, Adam, man, great job, man. Thank you for being on the show. Great interview. Appreciate it, man. Good luck on the 8th and on the 16th, which is the day before my birthday. So I'll be thinking about you guys on my birthday, man. Rock it out hard, man.
I appreciate that. And, definitely keep in touch, and, we'll keep, when you post the show on YouTube and stuff, make sure you tag us in the links, and we'll repost it and everything.
Absolutely, man.
I'll get it done tonight or tomorrow. It'll probably be tonight, because I'll have to be up earlier in the morning. But
good luck on your new EP right there.
Thank you much, man.
And when you guys write some new music, man, you guys are going out and about, give us a call back again, man, and we'll put you back out here. Bring your singer on the show sometime. Let's talk with her a little bit, too. It's nice to have some female singers back in the rock music, man. You only have a few here and there.
It's
to have one.
Nice to see that.
More
options.
There's a lot more out there than you know. I mean, people know. But anyway, so appreciate it, brother.
Thank you guys very much. Feel better, man, and keep in touch.
Thanks. Will do, and y'all have a good one.
All right, man. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Will and Thunder Show. The band that's going to take us out is Beyond the Fade from Charlotte, North Carolina. You can find them at Beyond the Fade at Twitter and also at Facebook, Beyond the Fade. The song's called Lights Out, and they're going to take us out. Thank you for listening to the Will and Thunder Show. We'll be back next week, same time, 10 p.m. Eastern till midnight, with another awesome guest for you. Later. Basically.
What the hell is that?
I'm sorry. Well.
Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show. Will and Thunder Show.
Will and Thunder Show.
Ridiculous, 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 ridiculous.
Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show.
Well, welcome back to another edition of the Will and Thunder Show. It's Tuesday night, so you know what that means. Another night of talking a little bit of rock and roll, a little bit of music, see what's going on around the world. My name is Kevin Thunder. Around here somewhere under the weather is my co-host, William Telltale. Where you at, buddy?
I'm here. What's going on?
Not much, man. I know that you're not feeling real well, man. You got kind of the summer flu kicking, huh? What's going on?
I don't know. I'm getting my ass kicked by somebody, somebody sight unseen. I don't know what the hell's going on. All I know is the show must go on, and I'm a freaking trooper. I once played a show under a huge light system I had a temperature of 102 degrees when I went on, and had to be carried off. So
Look, man, what you just take it easy tonight? You just kick back, you take it easy tonight, man. We're going to have a good show, man. Tonight we've got a great band, man. A band out of Boston right here, taking the world by storm. Hardest working band in Boston. Name of the band's Mongrel, man. So you dog catchers out there better sit back and revamp up and find you some new weapons, because this is some dogs that really have a bite to them. Alongside of it, these guys really have pretty good repertoire here. They just recorded a EP, 5 songs. Some of the people that have done work with them in the recording process, pretty big names right there. We'll get into that here a little bit later, but first things first, we do what we do usually every week, and we're going to talk about a little bit of rock news, man. See what's going on in the rock and roll world.
I read the news today, oh boy. If you read
All right, welcome to the rock and roll news segment of the Will and Thunder Show. Kick us off there, Thunder.
All right, let's see here what we got in the news today. You remember a little band by the name of Sabotage, don't you?
Yeah, John Oliva, the band that gave birth to Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Exactly. Well, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, they're doing a big music festival in Germany in the next year. On top of Trans-Siberian Orchestra being there, Sabotage has decided to get back together and do a set right after Trans-Siberian Orchestra plays. It's going to be pretty big. They have not been together since early 2000s. Haven't done any work together.
Yeah, I think the last tour they did, the last time they toured was late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere along there. Funny story about TSO. My aunt and uncle are like super uber religious folks, and they always hated the fact that I was into metal, heavy, the big heavy metal. I had long hair and everything, rebellious teenager and young adult and whatever. Well, one year I went over to their house for Thanksgiving, and I just happened to be looking through their CD collection, and guess what I saw in their CD collection? I saw a TSO
Sabotage.
album. A TSO album, and I
TSO,
pulled it
okay.
out. Yeah, and I asked them, I said, do you know who this is? And they said, yeah, that's a band, that's an orchestra. That's an electric symphony orchestra called Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I said, yeah, but do you know who they are? I said, yeah, it's Trans-Siberian Orchestra. You might actually like them because they play, that you might want to consider it. I said, Uncle, or I said, this is Sabotage. This is Trans-Siberian Orchestra started off as the heavy metal band Sabotage. they couldn't deal with the truth. You can't handle the truth. That was hilarious. Guess you had to be there. Well, we've lost Thunder. Anyway, the band Mongrel coming up there. They're getting ready to go on tour with Power Man 5000. They got a lot of really good things going for them. I'm just going to go ahead and go over what we have coming up in the next over the next couple of weeks here on the Will and Thunder show. While we're trying to get Thunder back, I don't know what happened, but next week we have there he is. He's back. Okay, don't
I
do
am
that.
back.
I'm sick. I'm trying to. We got Mongrel coming on. I'm sick of the frickin' Mongrel, and you need to be the frickin' lead on the show tonight. Damn it.
Look, man, I got you, man. Look, man, I don't know what kind of virus you have, but you're messing my phone up. My computer's not working. Look, man, I don't know if you have the computer version of the Ebola disease or what the hell's going on, but stop that shit already, all right? Damn.
I'm sorry.
Look, I'm a couple states away, and I'm worried about getting infected here, man.
Don't make me come in there. I'll cough on you.
Oh, whatever. But anyway, as you were saying, you were talking about what's coming up in the near future, but back to the news and music, which that is news and music, what's coming on our show the next couple of weeks. You told them about the Harp Twins and all that?
I was just getting ready to. But anyway, the Harp Twins coming next week, and if you don't know who they are, check them out on YouTube. They take heavy metal songs, and it's two female identical twins, and they play the harp, and they take these metal songs, for example, Fear of the Dark and Dance of Death by Iron Maiden, and they play harp versions on them. And Iron Maiden, for example, has actually, embraced them, and advertised them. So the majority of the fans that they have are more than likely Iron Maiden fans as well. But they do a lot more than just Iron Maiden. But that's going to be an awesome show. They don't really do too many interviews. This is definitely going to be a first for them. And I'm looking forward to talking with them.
Absolutely. Now to the next big thing of news here. In the next few months, there's going to be a book coming out, which I'm definitely going to go to Barnes & Noble or what's have you have to purchase this. It's called The Big Book of Hair Metal, and the author's name is Martin Popoff. This guy is taking the time to sit here and log in 500 plus photos, plus there's 224 pages, where he's sitting there and he's kind of documented, gave us a history of hair metal. The ups and downs, where it came from, how it started, and unfortunately its demise in the 90s of, not just hair metal, but a lot of metal at that time, to the unfortunate grunge era. So
it's not just grunge, but that freaking over-synthesized, slightly a little bit heavier than pop crap, that was saturating rock stations during that decade.
I mean, you've got some bands there that were good that came out of that era, but it was far and few in between for a while. Right there it was just, a lot of noise, a lot of garbage. They, the guitar solo gave way to just, slamming 7-string guitar riffs. I mean, it was kind of a sad era for metalheads like you and I.
I think I got my first gray hair as a result of listening to the garbage that was coming out during that decade.
Yeah, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Yeah, smells like the death of real music.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that book out too. Just for keepsakes, kind of like a coffee table type thing. That'd be nice to have around. But I mean, one thing that book probably doesn't talk about is the fact that it is coming back, and we've talked about Judas Priest and how their album hit number 6. Their latest album hit number 6 on Billboard's overall, and that being a sign that, of course, metal is back. Well, check this out. You remember Overkill, don't you?
Of course.
Brass band.
Yeah, they did a real big, toured a lot with Slayer, Metallica, even somewhat recently, Yeah, Overkill, great band.
Their album, excuse me, their new album called White Devil Armory, has cracked the top 40. It debuted at number 31 on Billboard's overall. Which, I mean, for Overkill, Overkill was never anywhere near on the same block as Judas Priest. And for them, out of all people, to crack the the top 40. I mean, there's been so many bands, awesome metal bands over the past year and a half that have cracked the top 40 with, without Black Sabbath, Queensryche, Overkill, Judas Priest, Def Leppard, I think. Metal's back.
Yeah, it just goes to show, and it's been, I mean, it's not that it ever disappeared. It kind of traveled. It went on vacation. It went over to Eastern Europe and Germany, but it's back in the United States. It's coming back. It's coming back home,
It's back in the forefront.
And that's great, man. I mean, to get rid of, I mean, and, pop music has its place, and, whoever likes it, that's your ideals right there. Country music, country music and rock were cut from the same cloth. They all grew from the same place, and it kind of split off. And even now today, even today's country is more rock than it is country by any means.
Right.
But it's nice to have our metal that's growing again. It's coming back to life. It's no longer just in the background and having one or two bands that were still surviving and only one or two bands that were coming to life. Now you've got these bands that were around and, the staple of metal music, the staple of, the long hair and just, the power, and they're coming back into it, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir. I mean, I'm happy. I'm hoping to. I mean, even all these bands are getting back together. TNT's getting even back together, and they're going to be touring the U.S. sometime next year. They're all back.
Absolutely, and these bands, as we said, I mean, they really hadn't disappeared. A lot of them took kind of a hiatus, because you have to understand, man, a lot of these bands were on tour for 10, 12 years.
Right.
You got to take a little time, and especially while the music generation and the genres change a little bit, and you have to develop, I mean, and keep your own style, but you have to evolve it well. As a human being, even you and I are totally different mindsets than we were when we were 20, now that we're 40. We would not, there's no way we'd write the same music. First of all, the bands get better as musicians. So, and they understand more. So the stuff that they played before, not that it was easy or it was, what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, hold on.
Not untalented.
I'm going to throw the challenge flag on that one. Because I mean, you look at a band that never went away like Metallica. They have not been able to release a great album since this. So there's I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but there's people out there that would say that when you're in your 20s is when you're probably the most creative, because a lot of these bands, even the classic